if we were to, try to specify the word overwhelm, how would you describe that?
Well, for myself and my clients, it is that state of really not being able to see the wood for the trees, and being so overwhelmed that actually you probably deny you're overwhelmed. That's how
Hmm.
overwhelmed we get. And because I work with people who are very professional, have very high standards, and are copers, they are the people you go to get things done.
Hmm.
They don't like to let anyone down. So the overwhelm is they're high functioning, but they're pushing their brain to think through. It's like bashing your brain against a concrete wall, and it can actually result in it feeling bruised at the end of the day, and just being very disconnected, not feeling at home in yourself. So it's a very big deal.
Hmm.
I take it very seriously. I see it as the gateway drug to losing your life, because once you're in a state, and I'm not talking about occasional overwhelm, I'm talking about that utter overwhelm where you cannot think clearly.
Yeah.
And I just take that very seriously, because if you deal with the overwhelm, and I have a method to get people out of overwhelm very, very fast, if you deal with that, suddenly you can see, there's easier ways to do things, there's
Hmm.
better ways, and you get your energy, and you start to recover. And then it's about embedding that in your life so that you can not avoid overwhelm, because overwhelm's pretty inevitable in the way we've set up our society, but have the tools to recognize when you're heading back for a tunnel. Know, recognize those circles. I've been here. I'm on that again.
Hmm.
Recognizing the signs that for you are your warning signs, that tipping point, and then have the tools to get out of that fast, because it's costly. It's really costly. You do not want to be making decisions in overwhelm. You do not want to be running your business or trying to. It's all about coping, isn't it? Overwhelm. Just get through. Just get through. Just get through. And then in this imaginary time at the end of your to-do list, which there isn't an end to, there's then I will be able to think. And it's not true. And we know it's not true, but we're not taught this stuff.
Hmm. Yeah. And it's like it's really a huge block that keeps you from doing everything that you either want to do or need to do, obviously. But we it's is it would you say it's really just psychological blocks that kind of messes you up, I guess?
I would say that it's that the human brain, the human mind, which is amazing. I mean, the human mind is incredible, but we just haven't learnt to fly the ship. So we've got this incredible mind, and as entrepreneurs in particular, we have so many ideas, right? And we're very good at coming up with ideas and starting things. But that in itself can be overwhelming. When you get your ideas brain on, or just the way our society is set up. So everything is there to grab your attention. Everything.
Yeah.
From road signs to obviously the whole tech issue with social media and notifications, email, phones, etc. Everything is designed to get your attention and to send your nervous system into high alert. So we're all walking around, or not everyone, because some people I don't think do suffer particularly badly with overwhelm, but for the people I work with who have very high standards and want to live life to the full, it's very easy for them to get overwhelmed, because the nervous system reacts as if a bear's there, and a bear's going to get you, so you're suddenly in high alert. And as soon as your nervous system is in high alert, the prefrontal cortex goes offline. That's why you
Hmm.
can't think. You're not supposed to think, because it's not very helpful, is it? It's not very helpful. There's a bear coming straight at you and you go, I wonder how I should tackle this bear. I wonder if I should, run. It's like you do not want your prefrontal cortex involved. So it's a
Yeah.
natural safety thing. Your mind has evolved to keep you safe but not happy. It's easily overwhelmed because it's a damn good system for keeping you alive. But for the majority of us going through our normal day, there are no bears.
Yeah.
Certainly not in the UK. There are no bears attacking you, but everything is set up, from traffic lights. There were warning signs everywhere. I get really cross about this. I was buying coffee from an outside stall, and there was this warning sign saying, "Careful, drinks are hot." It's like, can
Yeah.
we just stop doing this to each other? Can we stop setting off each other's nervous systems? And obviously, at the moment, the news is extremely, you
Hmm.
know, good at setting off our nervous system. So there's a lot of uncertainty. So that's where it's coming from. So I argue that overwhelm is inevitable. There's nothing wrong with you, but you need to make it optional and take it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do that with some new skills.
And when you say make it optional, what does that entail?
That entails, well, in my work, it entails something which I call neutral noticing. So that means the ability to notice completely neutrally what's going on. So this is obviously an awareness practice,
Mm-hmm.
but it's, for my clients, meditation and mindfulness aren't always helpful because they get stuck in their head a lot. And with meditation and mindfulness, you can often feel like you're more stuck in your head. Mm-hmm. So I work with a kind of body mindfulness. It is body mindfulness. So I take your attention out of your head with all of the, and we're not trying to stop the thoughts, you know, the loops of doom, the endless to-do list, the invisible get better at list, which all my clients and students have. We're not trying to stop any of that. That's far too much work. No, we're always looking for the easiest, fastest, least overwhelming way to take action, right? Because if you're really overwhelmed, the last thing you want is somebody to come up with some amazing tool that requires you doing more. That's not going to happen. You're completely overwhelmed. What you need is something that fits into your life. And that's where the 1 minute mark comes from, which is a free audio. It's 1 minute. Get you out of your head, take your attention down to your feet. Mm-hmm. So you feel your feet on the ground. All we've done is move your attention. It's incredibly fast at changing your state out of overwhelm into ease. So take your attention down to your feet, then your belly, and just notice how you feel completely neutrally. And the neutral bit is very, very important because I don't know about you, but there's a lot of judgment going on in my head. There's a lot of shoulds and oughts, and I need to improve this, and I need to be better at that. And I think, you know, that comes in with launching. I think a lot of us entrepreneurs can get stuck in that loop of, I can't launch until I'm better at this. I need to be better at that. If only I was better. If only my audience was bigger and I was better at copywriting and better at doing Facebook Lives and better. And that stops you living. So for me, neutral noticing it starts with this 1 minute practice, which people love because then they can use it throughout the day and it's resetting. People use it between meetings. They use it before doing a live video, like before a podcast interview. What was I doing? Noticing completely neutrally how I felt. And then for me, I add in an intention because I find that really helpful. So it starts with the neutral noticing 1 minute and then we just build it up. I have lots of ways of using it for different purposes depending on what you're dealing with. So that's where it starts. It's really fast, which is the point, right? It's really easy. It's immediate and you can't do it wrong. And because you can't do it wrong, for people who like to do things really well, for people who are always achieving and always striving and always pushing, it's the opposite. So neutral noticing teaches you to do the very opposite of the things that have served you really well up till now. So I work with people who are successful, but they don't feel very successful because they're not really enjoying their success because they're just like, I can't hold it all together. It's too hard, right? But the habits and beliefs and thoughts that have got you to this far, the studying, the pushing, the ignoring the body while you work really hard, you know, the ability to keep going despite the sacrifice and postponing of your health, your happiness and your relationships, that has served you well up until now, but it's not going to work anymore because to live successfully requires dropping those. But you can't suddenly drop them. You know, when people say, oh, you just need to release stuff. It's like, you can't just drop all the stuff that's worked for you. So we don't do that. We just notice, I'm pushing myself really hard. There's a lot of shoulds going on today and you don't need to do anything. So in neutral noticing, in the 1 minute mark, all we're doing is noticing. Just notice how you feel completely neutrally in this moment. Don't try to achieve anything. Don't even try to relax. And this is important because for myself and my clients, being told, relax, just relax is really stressful. It's not a relaxation. People think it's a relaxation because it tends to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. But the intention is not to do that. And this is so important. If you spend all day pushing against yourself, it's so important to be able to take a break and just Notice, oh, this is how I am right now. No judgment. I don't need to be better. I don't need to force myself to take a lunch break if that's really hard. I don't need to do anything. It's 1 minute.